Beyond I can't, redefining ability in the workplace. Have you ever caught yourself saying, I can't before you've even tried? Those two words might be the most powerful limitation we place on ourselves and others. But what if I told you that I can't is never the final answer, just an invitation to find a different path? Recently, I had the privilege of interviewing Tekenya, a remarkable advocate who has been reshaping our understanding of disability inclusion since 1984. Her story isn't just inspiring, it's a revolutionary. After becoming disabled in a motor vehicle accident, Tekenya didn't just survive, she transformed her experience into a mission that has changed countless lives and workplaces across the globe. Her insights have fundamentally altered how we understand human potential, challenging us to see beyond our preconceptions about ability and worth. When Tekenya became disabled, she didn't just face physical challenges, she encountered a world that wasn't designed with her in mind, a world quick to say, you can't, rather than asking, how can we make this possible together? The barriers weren't just architectural, they were attitudinal. People saw her disability before they saw her humanity, her talents, her potential. But here's what makes Tekenya truly extraordinary. Instead of accepting those limitations, she discovered deeper wells of love, patience, and resilience within herself. She recognized that hard work looks different for everyone, but as long as we have breath in our bodies, we have something meaningful to contribute. This realization became her life's mission, teaching the world to embrace all abilities and understand that success isn't one size fits all. Let's be honest. We live in a society that worships at the altar of productivity, where worth is often measured by output, speed, and conformity to narrow definitions of capability. We've created workplaces that celebrate a very specific kind of ability while systematically excluding others. And in doing so, we've not only been unjust, we've been foolish. Because what if the greatest untapped resource in our organizations isn't some new technology or management philosophy, but the diverse abilities of people we've been systematically excluding? During our conversation, Takenya shared three profound insights that I believe can transform not just our workplaces, but our entire approach to human potential. First, we must embrace all abilities. This means recognizing that success isn't about fitting everyone into the same box, but leveraging what each person uniquely brings to the table. It means understanding that the person who can't stand for 8 hours might be the one who can solve your most complex problems. The employee who needs flexible hours might be your most dedicated team member. The colleague who communicates differently might offer the perspective that transforms your entire approach. Second, inclusion isn't just a nice idea, it's action. True inclusion means making physical spaces accessible, adapting digital tools, offering flexible work arrangements, and ensuring everyone feels seen, not just accommodated. It means moving beyond compliance to commitment, beyond tolerance to celebration. And third, strength comes through community. Resilience grows from support networks, whether through employee resource groups, partnerships with advocacy organizations, or simply listening with empathy. No one thrives in isolation. We all need connection, understanding, and the knowledge that we're not alone in our struggles. These aren't just feel good platitudes, they're practical principles with real world impact, as demonstrated by a remarkable transformation that Takenya shared during our interview. A leading UK company recognized that its office spaces weren't fully accessible for employees with physical disabilities. Wheelchair users struggled with narrow doorways. Employees with sensory impairments found unclear signage confusing. Remote workers needed better digital accommodations, but instead of making assumptions about what might help, the company did something revolutionary. They actually involved disabled staff directly in accessibility audits. Imagine that. Asking the people experiencing the barriers what would remove them. The transformation was comprehensive. They installed step free entrances and widened corridors for wheelchair users. They added visual fire alarms for deaf employees. They provided adjustable desks and ergonomic equipment for varied mobility needs. They ensured non slip flooring and clear signage for those with sensory or visual impairments for remote staff. They ensured software followed accessibility standards, provided captions and transcripts for video meetings, and supported assistive technologies like screen readers and dictation software. The results weren't just about compliance. The workplace became a model of accessibility, boosting morale among all staff while attracting diverse talent who had previously felt excluded from corporate careers. This wasn't charity. It wasn't a burden on the business. It was smart leadership that recognized talent comes in all forms and that barriers to inclusion are barriers to excellence. Most importantly, this transformation led to genuine cultural change where difference was celebrated as strength rather than treated as a liability. The ripple effects were felt throughout the industry as peers began adopting similar measures after seeing tangible benefits to both the bottom line and employee satisfaction. This story perfectly illustrates what Tekenya emphasized. Embracing all abilities leads to systemic change when organizations listen deeply and act decisively on behalf of those historically marginalized within workforce spaces. But let's be clear, this work isn't easy. It requires us to confront uncomfortable truths about how our workplaces, systems, and even our language have been designed to privilege certain types of bodies and minds while excluding others. It means acknowledging that when we say someone can't do something, we're often really saying we haven't bothered to figure out how they could. It means recognizing that accessibility isn't special treatment, it's equal access. It means understanding that accommodations don't give unfair advantages, they remove unfair disadvantages. And perhaps most challenging of all, it means admitting that many of us have benefited from systems that were never designed to include everyone equally. This is where Tekenya's wisdom becomes so powerful. She reminds us that inclusion isn't about pity or charity. It's about recognizing the full humanity and potential contribution of every person. As she shared, as long as we have breath in our bodies, we have something meaningful to contribute. This perspective shifts our focus from what people can't do to what they can, from limitation to possibility. Think about it. How many brilliant minds have we lost from our organizations because we couldn't imagine different ways of working? How many innovations have never materialized because we excluded the very people whose unique perspectives might have sparked them? The business case for inclusion is compelling. Studies consistently show that diverse teams outperform homogeneous ones. Organizations with robust disability inclusion practices report higher productivity, lower turnover, and better innovation outcomes. But beyond the business case, there's a human case. Each time we say, you can't, to someone based on their disability, we diminish not just their potential, but our collective humanity. Kenya's journey reminds us that disability isn't the opposite of ability, it's simply a different way of navigating the world. And those different navigations often lead to insights, innovations, and perspectives that benefit everyone. Consider How curb cuts, those small ramps at street corners designed for wheelchair users, now benefit parents with strollers, travelers with rolling luggage, delivery workers, and countless others. This is the curb cut effect, where accommodations designed for people with disabilities end up improving experiences for everyone. The same principle applies in our workplaces. Flexible work arrangements initially implemented for employees with chronic health conditions have proven beneficial for parents, caregivers, and anyone seeking better work life balance. Text to speech technologies developed for blind users now power the voice assistants we all rely on. Captioning services created for deaf individuals now help everyone watch videos in noisy environments or learn languages more effectively. So I ask you today, what if we stop seeing disability as a problem to be solved and started recognizing it as a source of innovation, perspective, and strength? What if instead of asking, can they do this job, we asked, how might we redesign this job to leverage their unique talents? What if we approach difference not with fear or pity, but with curiosity and respect? The path forward is clear, though not easy. It requires us to examine our assumptions, redesign our systems, and expand our understanding of human potential. It demands that we move beyond token gestures toward meaningful transformation. I challenge each of you today, look around your workplace. Who isn't there? Whose voices aren't being heard? What barriers exist that could be removed? What talents are we missing because we've defined ability too narrowly? Because when we truly embrace all abilities, when we design our workplace and systems and societies to include everyone, we don't just create better opportunities for people with disabilities. We create better organizations, better innovations, better communities, a better world for all of us. As Tekenya would say, as long as we have breath in our bodies, we all have something meaningful to contribute. The question isn't whether someone can contribute, it's whether we're willing to create the conditions where everyone can thrive. The next time you hear yourself or someone else say, I can't, pause. Ask yourself, is this truly impossible? Or have we simply not yet discovered the path? Because in that question lies the difference between limitation and possibility, between exclusion and belonging, between a world that works for some and a world that works for all. The choice is ours, and the time to choose is now.